how is the local committee contribution for calculated? So a theoretical way of calculating the local committee contribution for would simply to divide the amount of 280,000 through the amount of local committees, which would be 46, and then you would have an equal amount for every local committee is paid. That would not be that fair, because a weak local committee, which is doing like 50 exchanges, would have to carry as much as a strong local committee with 50, 60 exchanges and maybe also an FKG. That would not be fair. So we have figured out another formula for the local committee contribution form, which consists of einem Mindestbeitrag und einem flexiblen Restbeitrag. So how is the Mindestbeitrag calculated? The idea of the Mindestbeitrag is that every local committee should be able to fulfill at least the minimum criteria. Why should that be? Because we wanted to have some measurement of sustainability in the model, and a local committee is then sustainable if they can fulfill at least this minimum criteria. This minimum criteria are actually given by AI, and if Isaac in Germany does not fulfill the minimum criteria, which are for ICX and for OGX per local committee in the respective entity, then Isaac Germany will get problems from AI. And so we say, yeah, if you don't fulfill your minimum criteria, then you should also have some financial restrictions by it. The calculation of the Mindestbeitrag is that you take the minimum criteria of IGIP times 700, because every month for an ICX intern is worth 100 euros, and the average duration of internships here in Germany is 7 months, plus the Mindest criteria of OGX times 225, because every local committee earns 225 with every OGX that is done. And then there is one variable that shows how much the Mindest criteria, the exchange numbers by the minimum criteria, are part of the overall exchange numbers of Isaac in Germany. This gives you a number that is denominating the Mindestbeitrag that you had before, the revenue you got with your minimum criteria. Just a short calculation. The minimum criteria are right now, when I'm recording this session, 5 OGX and 5 ICX. That means you have 10 exchanges per local committee. We have right now 45 local committees that are 450 exchanges. Overall, Isaac in Germany is doing 1,600 exchanges. That shows you that this number is around 0.2 or 0.25%. So your revenue that you got with your minimum criteria is taxed with 20 to 25%, which is quite low actually. The flexibler Restbeitrag is then that you take the total amount of the local committee contribution for, so this 280,000, and subtract from that the sum of the Mindestbeiträge. So the Mindestbeitrag is around 1,500 euros right now in 2015, and you take that times 46, and then you subtract this number from this 280,000. And what you do then with the rest of the money, which is like 220,000, you take the share of the income of the respective local committee from the income of all local committees in Germany. That's the formula for it. Let's say we have a local committee contribution form of 100,000, and we have 2 local committees in Isaac in Germany. the first local committee is doing 10% of the revenue and the other local committee is doing 90% of the revenue, then this local committee with 10% has to pay 10,000 euros and the local committee with 90% has to pay 90,000 euros. Because that seemed to be fair for us who developed this formula. What is not that easy is to decide what is a revenue for Isaac in Germany. The first part is of this revenue calculation are exchanges. That's pretty clear. Exchange is the main source of the income for most of the local committees, and therefore we have to take the amounts that are on the accounts 910 to 914. So everything that was after the audit of the previous year on this accounts is taken for this calculation. The second part are donations. Donations are the accounts 4060 and 4081. The problems we have with donations is that donations are actually not for the whole association, but they are given for one local committee in most time. So that's a bit arguable if we can take this in the local committee contribution form. We have done it because actually even if the donator is giving the amount to, let's say, LC Magdeburg, then he gives it to Isaac in Germany because we are one association. The second thing is that we wanted to tax also projects that are doing revenue, not the normal projects, not conferences, which should not give you any revenue, but mostly Zweckbetriebe and wirtschaftliche Geschäftsbetriebe. And therefore, we look after the audit on the project accounts to calculate the LCCF. And the fourth thing is, in 2016, also the revenues of the FKG are taxed. What do you have to do now to calculate your payment for the LCCF? You calculate your revenues with looking on the accounts that I mentioned right now. Afterwards, you look at the revenues for whole Isaac in Germany. This amount should be quite clear at the end of the year, and like in December, the VEP Finance should send you an email where it's stated that right now the LCs are doing that amount, and of course what the local committees are doing the annual statement, and then the audit comes. So this amount is not 100% clear, but it's something, a rule of thumb that you can take that. And then you divide the revenue from your own LC and divide it by the revenue of whole Isaac in Germany and multiply it with the Restbeitrag that stayed after you have subtracted the Mindestbeitrag. Exactly. And then you can calculate how high the LCCF payment for your local committee